I'm Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS Conversations with Selwyn. Thank you for joining us this evening. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, a very special thank you. I am always looking for ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And that is because the goal of this show is to have conversations with people about their journeys. How are they using their gifts and talents to help others? How are they making a positive contribution to humanity? But beyond that, I hope that after each conversation, that someone, some young person, anywhere in the world, would have been inspired, enlightened, or encouraged to step beyond their limitations. And that is why I encourage my guests sometimes to talk about not only their successes, but their challenges and how they might have overcome those challenges. Ever so often, I hear people talk about their fears, their apprehensions, and their hesitation about following their dreams, about pursuing their ideas. And I mean, we are humans. We are all human beings, and each and every one of us from time to time has these issues. But what I say to you is to face your fears. Find a way to overcome them. Even if you have to surround yourself with people who are there just to encourage you and to inspire you, do that, whatever it takes. Because what I've discovered is that when we do not pursue an idea or implement an idea, not only that idea suffers or we suffer, the whole of humanity loses something. And I qualify this by saying, if you would look around you at the many inventions, the many conveniences, whether it's a sewing machine or a webcam or any tool, it was once an idea. Any new social movement was once an idea. The March in Washington, Nelson Mandela being released, and many other ideas. So my message tonight is to follow your dreams, find a way to overcome your fears. My guest tonight is a very talented, very beautiful, and I just don't only mean her physical appearance, I mean internally. Beautiful young lady, one of the gems of our soils. She is Miss World Guyana 2013. Her name is Ruqayyah Boyer. After the break, I'll introduce you to her. I'll take a break now. then Guyana.
Actually, I was born in
Oh,
Suriname.
you were born in Suriname.
Yes, I was born there, and then we moved to Canada. And after Canada, we came to Guyana. My mom is Guyanese, and I guess she was homesick, so she returned to her motherland.
So you lived some time in Canada.
Yes, about 5 years.
Well, let me phrase the question this way: growing up in Canada, then Guyana,
Yes.
how would you describe your childhood?
As a very engaging and learning experience because I mean they're different territories altogether. Suriname is an entire different culture from Canada and Guyana, of course. So there was the language aspect of it because from a tender age, well, my first language is Dutch, and then I was in Canada, and I think I was speaking French at some point with English, the Canadian English. And then I came to Guyana, and then all of that was lost to just the Guyanese English. And then via travels back and forth from Guyana to Suriname, I maintained the Dutch, and I guess that from that point, that's where my love for languages grew. Outside of the language aspect of my childhood, it was a lot of fun days. I can't recall anything being bad about my childhood, save for the fact that I was the first child and the eldest for my mom. So basically, what transpired is that I basically took the blame for everything that went wrong in the household, which did not go down too well with me. But I learned to be a responsible individual from those events, and it's matured me. It's basically molded me into the person that I am today. So I think overall, I did make the most of my childhood because I ensured I was in every single activity that they had in school. So I was that extracurricular girl, so to speak.
Okay. So, is it fair to ask what is your favorite memory of Canada?
No, it's not fair to
Okay.
ask,
Well,
but I can try to remember. It's somewhere in there. There was this young girl named Jessica, and I believe we used to go skating together. I recall that much. But there are not many memories that I have in my memory of Canada for some strange reason. But I know my dad has a lot of videos and cassettes of those memories. So when the need arises, I'll definitely go plug in a cassette
Okay.
and
So you have
view
you have
that.
access to resources.
Yes.
And what are your fondest memories as a child growing up in Guyana?
Well, Guyana basically has that melting pot of cultures, and the hometown that I grew up in, which is Linden, was very family oriented. My straight old Carol, everyone was basically your parent. So the children there were like my brothers and sisters. So I would say I pretty much grew up in an extended family within that network, and it was very nature based because in Linden you have the hilly sand and clay areas where I was residing. The creek is not far away. We have the hills right next door where you go fly kites during the Easter holidays, and it was a whirlwind adventure growing up in Linden because being the tomboy that I would always find myself with the kids either playing cricket, either jumping in the creek. No, that's not true. I didn't jump into the creek because then I didn't know how to swim, but I would paddle my feet to the side of the creek. I would catch fish. We would have bush cook, which is like a guy. I think it's a Caribbean thing, but in Guyana we call it the bush cook, whereby your friends come together. We steal stuff from our parents' food cabinet, and we come and we try to do like a cookout on a coal pot, and we throw in different ingredients to try to come up with our own food at the end of the day, and that's what we eat. What we catch a fish, we eat that, try to cook it. If it's half cooked, that's the way we have to eat it. So that was my childhood in that area.
As you described Linden, and this whirlwind, this to coin your phrase, whirlwind of exotic experiences.
Yeah.
What comes to mind is that you're definitely a writer, and the journalism in you. So this brings me to my next question. You enjoy writing poems, I gather.
Definitely.
Right. What kind of poems do you write?
I don't limit myself to a particular kind of poetry. I basically draw from inspiration. I think most persons see me as more of a passionate poet. I'm one of those people that when I go on the mic, it's it's going to be intense. Because whatever material I'm going to spit, it's going to be whether it's politics, whether it's love, whether it's anger, hurt, it's going to be deep, and it's going to be very metaphorical because I like wordplay, and it's just gonna be at a place whereby I want to play on the emotions, every single sense of the human being, because I think at the end of the day, your poetry needs to transcend the human realm. So I'm trying to take this sci-fi with my poetry. So I see myself as a passionate poet. I wouldn't call myself a political poet or a love poet. I have friends that would categorize themselves that way, but I'm just a writer. I don't even see myself as a poet, to be honest.
You like the freedom of being
Yeah,
indescribable, right?
I'm just a free verse writer that sometimes it comes in as poetry.
Well, I read that you're pursuing a bachelor's in international relations and also conflict resolution. Why those two?
Political sciences, they all fall into the realm of political sciences, and I think that's just where my energies went. In terms of international relations, I think it just fit with my personality. I'm someone that likes to interact on a daily basis with persons. It's just call it a divine destiny just handed down to me, because I really did not make that choice. That choice just came at me and I went with it. And it just so happened that it's something that I'm good at. So, like they say, go with what you're good at and you can better it, and who knows where you'll end up. And that's something I'm very intrigued by. Politics, I'm intrigued by the world, I'm intrigued by history, and international relations has that scope, and conflict resolution basically ties in with that scope. So it just made perfect sense. I couldn't be a doctor because I mean I love science, but just the thought of blood and
do we dare hear a future president of Guyana?
No.
No?
I don't think that's the field. I prefer, as much as I'm a person that's constantly in the spotlight, I'm not too sure that's the role. I think I would prefer to pioneer change from a different angle. You know, I don't think I want to be the president. I think I probably do have the potential. I probably marry the president. I don't mind, but I just
run things from behind,
yeah,
right?
I'll be that. I'll be the woman, you know, behind every successful man is a strong woman just pushing him. I probably will be the president's wife.
All right. With eight A levels, track and field, both regional and nationally, theatrical arts, music, dance, and spoken word. Volunteer at the National Library's Reading Circle. How would you describe Ruqayyah Boyer?
I'm sitting here wondering where you got all that information from.
I got it. I'm a researcher.
Oh well.
How would you describe Ruqayyah Boyer?
Well, all of that sounds really fancy and nice. But I honestly just see myself as the girl next door. I'm really very simple.
Next door to who?
Next door to the world. Anybody, I'm very reachable. Anyone that wants to reach out, they can say hi. I'm not gonna bite you. I try to maintain a lot of humility, and I think it's because when I look at the world and I look at successful people, sometimes I feel very sad because the people that help them to become those successful people, apart from themselves and their own inner strength, they just tend to like forget about them and then, you know, kind of lose themselves in the process. So I try to maintain who it is that I am, and who I am is a product of the society that I was raised in. So I think I'm a person that's very thankful for the small things in life, and I try to respect that and not forget about that in every single step that I take in my road to success, so to speak. Outside of that, I'm very like family oriented, and I love friendship. I really value friendship. I try to be a very loyal person when it comes to my friends. I have very few friends, which is sad, but there's only so much loyalty I can give being this one person. So I try to keep them a handful whereby I can do them justice. Outside of friendship and family, I'm very spiritual when it comes to God. Like, you know, with Him, nothing is possible. So I try to maintain that spiritual connection with the Most High. Then I'm all for academics. I think I try to take a little bit out of everything that life has to offer, because based on experiences, I've come to recognize and come to terms with reality and the fact that we only have one life to live, and we need to make the best of it while we have life within us.
Very well said. Was there a teacher who had a particularly strong influence on your life? Tell me about that person.
I'm thinking teachers.
My mom is a teacher,
Okay.
so she definitely will be the number one figure when it comes to that. And I know a lot of times people say it's kind of cliche. You say your mom's your role model and stuff, but I mean, you have to go with the person that gave that strength and that purpose to you, and that would have been my mother. She instilled with me the values that I have within me today, and as much as sometimes during teenage years, I was like, I don't know what this woman doesn't leave me alone. Like, woman, stay out of my business. I know she meant well. So she was the first teacher who played any sort of great influence on my life. Outside of that, I think, ironically, the teachers that were somewhat on my case most of the times were the teachers who influenced me the most. Like, for instance, there's this one teacher, and I know I don't want to ramble, but I was 14 at the time. I was in fourth form, and this teacher, she just didn't want me to get admission to the school because I was taking a transfer. And she was like, you should go to the other school and apply. But I'm like, this is the highest school. I'm not going to any other school. And then I somehow got into her class. I was placed into her classroom. And I was so mad because I'm like, now I have to put up with a teacher that didn't want me to come to the school in the first place. So I would always find an issue with her when she's telling someone else to read. I love reading. I want to be picked to read too in class, and all the I don't know, I probably could say like the negative stuff that happened with her, I remembered, and as a result, I always pushed to say, you know what, I'm gonna make you like me. I'm gonna do things. At the end, by the time I'm done with this school, I must be the student that you wish you never said she should have gone to another school. And strangely enough, when I left, she was like, congratulations, you really matured into someone I did not expect. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was doing behind your back. You have no idea.
So
But
you always have a plan?
I like to plan ahead. I usually have from plan A to Z. Sometimes, because I'm a human, you call it my human deficiency syndrome. No, that didn't sound too right. No, but just call it me being human. Sometimes I might fall short in that aspect, but give me a chance. I'm only 23.
Yeah.
But
Why
I
not?
do always have a plan. I think it's very important as an individual that is aspiring to greater heights to have a plan, because you can only, from that plan, you basically have like tunnel vision, and you can probably have foresight with what may go wrong. So just in case, you might have your plan B right there ready to like help you out.
Okay. Tell us a bit about your experience as a journalist. What topics appeal to you?
Well, I only started journalism in March of this year, which is another thing that was thrown at me. I'm telling you, these things, they just come at me, and it's strange that it's actually something that I probably would have endeavored for in an isolated way. But with the career, with the job, I think I would say crime and the legal stuff.
Right.
Like, I'm a crime and entertainment, because I'm a personality person. I like dealing with other personalities. I'm all about the mind. I think the human brain is something that's very intriguing. So meeting people on a daily basis and having conversations like having with you right now it's like the thing that I enjoy doing. I really find it engaging, and you get to learn a lot. And the thing is, you can always take something from every single experience that you have with, and every single conversation that you have with someone. You don't have to take everything, but there's always something that you can take, that you can add to your life, that can make you a better person. So I would definitely say entertainment and crime, because I don't know like, crime is just such an intrigue for me. There are different sciences behind the crime. There's the investigative part that you have to go investigate, put details together, the forensics of it, and then you have to report accurately, because the media, I think, apart from journalism and teachers are one of the most important people on earth. But journalism, if you take a story and you send it out bad, that could basically damage a person's character. It could destroy a family. So you have to be very keen on the details that you're putting out. So it's a very interesting, it's an engaging, and it's a fun career, but it's also a career that you need to take very seriously, because you need to get facts right. Journalism is about reporting facts. You don't want to go wrong with that.
You are an advocate for the fight against bullying, domestic violence, and gender inequality. Tell us why you feel so strongly about these causes.
Okay, I'm not going to start off with one of those stories that say I was bullied in school.
You were bullied.
Uh
Who would dare
I'm
bully you?
that is not the reason why, but I my pers but the person that I am, it's easier for me to stand up for someone. Like it's I've always been the person that would stand up. Like I said, I'm the eldest child, so the responsibility came from a tender age where I always had to stand up for myself, for my brothers, for my sisters. So I just looked at our society basically one day and I said to myself, you know what? I want to be involved in something outside of work or academics. I want to lend myself and my abilities towards a cause. What can I do? There was the environment that I've always been passionate about, and I am a part of environmental groups. And then there was the issue of violence, which matured into gender-based violence, which matured into me, which I decided to dissect and try to understand. Okay, well, where is this coming from? And to deal with any issue, you need to look at the root of it. And just to focus, just to hone in into one of the issues, that's where the bullying came in. So I've been doing work in that field for over 2 years now, and it so happened that Miss World has come my way now, and we are required to have a Beauty with a Purpose project, and that just made perfect sense to present a project that I've been dealing with, I've been campaigning for, to highlight and bring it to an international forum where we can get the recognition and possibly the help to help curb the issue or deal with it, minimize the numbers, so to speak.
I'm glad you mentioned Miss World. Let's talk
Oh
a
boy.
little bit about modeling. Do you have a mentor in your modeling career?
Right now I do. I have several mentors. Prior to now, I had mentors as well. Along the way, I've had various mentors, everyone that wants to lend their advice. But I think at the end of the day, it's up to you. You have to know what you want. You have to know how you're going to spearhead yourself into this path that you've taken on, this new journey. So I think I'm basically the person that drives myself more than anything else. But they're there to basically help me and guide me along the way. And they've been doing a tremendous job, especially for the Miss World contest.
Wonderful. Do you consider yourself an ambassador?
Yes, definitely. Why not? I mean, I need to embrace it. If I can't embrace my role, then I have no purpose being here. I represent, I like to think of myself as a representation of my country. I haven't only won Miss World Guyana, but I had the Miss Universe Guyana as well. And prior to that, I was Miss Linden. So I think the roles, even if I didn't accept it from the first crown, then eventually it grew into me, and I recognized that, there are certain things that I thought I could have done, but I need to let go of those things, because when you were a child, you walk like a child, you talk like a child, and now you're a man, so you do manly things, right?
Well said.
I try to embrace the role, because at the end of the day, I'm an example to younger persons, so I need to react and respond and hold a certain level of integrity and responsibility so that others can follow in a positive way.
Well, so what do you hope representing Guyana will bring to our country?
There are a lot of things I hope for. I think one of the main things, with competitions, one of the things you find is that victory in international competitions brings a country closer together. They don't the country might not necessarily see it, but take the World Cup with South Africa, for instance. Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie that had that poem Invictus. I think the movie name is Invictus, right? Yeah. You saw what that football did for South Africa.
Yes.
I mean, initially there were like a separated country based on politics, based on ethnicity and all of these things, but through one simple game they came together, and at the end of the day everyone was celebrating together and singing Oli Oli O and all of the South African songs, and it was like the most amazing thing. That's what I want for my country, because like every other country, we have our issues as well, and those issues can be eliminated little by little with little victories, and this is one of the victories that I think can aid with the elimination of whatever strifes we have going on in our country currently.
What drives you?
A lot of things. Life drives me. There are so many different things that occur in life, so many different experiences that I've had, and so many promises I feel like I need to fulfill that drives me. I think I've always been self-driven, because I just believe that you just have this one chance to do it, and you'll be selling yourself short if you don't do it. So why not just capitalize on every single opportunity you have and invest your best?
I'm curious.
What?
You were 23.
Yeah.
Where does this old wisdom come? When did this start? At what age?
I
did
would not
you
be able to
start-
answer that question.
You will not be able. Let me finish the question. At what age did you start being self-driven? Would you say?
Mm, I don't know about an age for certain, but
Oh, how far back can you remember having this drive? Well, I got to do this and I got to do that because this is very impressive to me.
okay.
For
In high
some,
school,
say-
I definitely was competitive in high school. It probably starts with competitiveness. High school, I was in sport. I was in elocution competitions, debating teams, the choir. So I think from that, it matured into something much more. And the people that I associate myself with are very queer people, if I may say so myself. They're either old folks on the streets playing chess or Chinese checkers, as we call it in Guyana. I have some male friends back home at a restaurant. They usually gather together and they would just sit there and play cards. They play this game called Trump. And I would sit there, and the thing is, when you gather in a little forum, the conversations you would have that move from politics to science to all of these things, that is the information that I usually grow off of. And I'm always in their presence, and if I'm not in their presence, I'm always around adults, so to speak. I for some reason, I don't really have a lot of people around me that are my age group. I don't know, it's because of the activities that I have to be involved in that causes for that level of socialization. But probably it's the people. I probably owe it to the persons that I'm usually around, because they're usually smart people and I'm drawn to intellectuals. So I surround myself, obviously whatever you're attracted to, that's what you're going to be around. So I guess that lends itself to some of the wisdom that you speak about. I can't really say
And
what
you
else.
You mentioned sports. What kind of sports do you like?
I like athletics. I love basketball. I just love basketball. I love seeing how people get played out on the court.
Oh, you like that?
And tall, sweaty guys just
Tall, skinny guys.
running across the basketball court. That's just my game. My cousins and my brothers, they got me into basketball from a very young age, so that's just what stuck with me. I love the football World Cup when it's the last two teams and like 10 minutes remaining on the
We're
scoreboard.
talking soccer, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Right.
Well,
I know. I mean,
we
in
call
America,
it,
that's why I
yeah,
know you
American
mean
soccer.
Football, right?
Yeah, I love that, but I only like it when it's the ending of the game. I cannot go through all the length of the game, but when it's like in the ending and then we like that intensity is like up here, I can deal with that. I love 2020 cricket because I mean that's a Caribbean thing. I can't look at the long ones because I just get, if it's not gonna be engaging and like a lot of adrenaline pumping like basketball, then But on the other side, like you said, life is like a balance. So like I love the adrenaline, and then I love golf. And golf is a lot of patience. So yeah, in terms of sports, athletics and basketball and soccer when it's at the ending, cricket when it's 2020, and golf just to relax and socialize.
So you believe in extremes. And can you share
Yes.
your secrets for keeping fit?
Eat a lot. I'm kidding. I am so kidding. I don't have a secret. I just have great genes and a high level of metabolism. I'm a fun lover of food, so I just eat a lot. I eat healthy. I try to take it in levels, but I eat healthy. I do eat healthy. Like if I'm gonna have some pizza today, I'm gonna like eat a lot of greens the following day. I drink a lot of water. Water is very, very important. So the more water you're taking, you're definitely gonna be fit. Exercise at least once per day, or if you're not gonna exercise, at least do a lot of walking because you can never go wrong with walking. That's basically it. If you into sports, swimming definitely does it for you. You know, swimming is a complete body workout. If you want to do gym, you can do the treadmills. With Miss World preparation, I've definitely been doing a lot more exercise to keep fit. But overall, you just want healthy. Being healthy is all in your mind. So you need to take it upon yourself. You need to take that extra responsibility to fulfill yourself that way, like be fulfilling in that way, and just eat right, exercise regularly, and be happy. The happiness is the best remedy for
And before
being
before we
fit.
go on a break, we're gonna take a break in a moment.
Okay.
This last question. One word to describe you. One word.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Go that over slowly.
I'm kidding. I've gotten this a lot, so I would definitely say charming.
Charming.
Yes.
And let's take a charming break.
Okay.
Right?
I'm gonna kill myself laughing.
Arrowhead, I love my golden arrowhead. I don't think you heard me. I said arrowhead.
We are back, and next to me is Ruqayyah Boyer. So, my friend, how are you holding up so far?
Namaste.
What does that mean? Tell me.
It's a greeting. It's in Hindi, like they say namaste. So that means I'm fine, thank you.
Say it to me in Dutch.
In English?
Dutch.
In Dutch? Goed.
Okay.
Ik ben goed.
Yeah, well, I see. You having fun?
I'm having a fabulous time.
Wonderful. What drew you to modeling?
My love for the stage, definitely. I didn't have like an initial love for modeling. Like, it was just people just saw me, they said, oh, you're skinny, you're tall, you should do modeling. And I just heard what they said and went through this ear and came through the other. But my passion was actually and is actually the performing arts. Whether I'm singing, doing poetry, acting, that was my passion. So what happened was that I decided to use pageantry as a platform to promote those talents. And it just so happened that the package deal was that you model as well. And it evolved into much more eventually.
So when did you get your first break?
My first break?
Yes.
It depends. What do you call a first break? Like,
What?
okay, well, I did my first pageant at 19. I'm 23 now, and my first pageant was Miss Guyana Talented Teen. As you can hear the name Talented Teen, so you definitely had to have a talent there.
Be a teen, right?
Yeah, and be a teen. You can't be in the pageant if you're not a teen. And after that, well, I didn't win that pageant, but they sent me to represent Guyana in Barbados at the Miss Teen Universal. I didn't win that one either. And then I did the Miss Guyana World, and I didn't win that one either. But I won the talent segments. That's the thing that was consistent. Then I was like, you know what? This isn't working out. I should probably just, you know what, call it quits and just focus on my academics, because this route definitely isn't working for me. But what happened was that at one point, my hometown Linden was going through several ordeals, so to speak, and there were some deaths, there were some casualties, and things that really pained me, so to speak. And because like Linden, I see Linden as my family. So one person gets hurt in Linden, I feel like my mom got hurt, my brother got hurt. So in that time of depression,
I didn't know what. I felt so helpless. I felt like the lowest of the low, and I wanted to do something to like uplift their spirits. So the only thing at that time going on was the Miss Guyana Universe pageant, and since I still had it in me. Persons, as much as I didn't place in the pageants, persons thought that I deserved a crown. So that was enough motivation for me to take this one last try. That was the highest pageant in the land. So I said to myself, I'm gonna do Miss Guyana Universe. And if I win, it's going to be such a glorifying moment for my hometown because they've been through so much recently and I wanted to give back something to them. So I decided to take the chance and my break came. I won it. Miss Universe crowned me along with the reigning Miss Guyana at that time. And from that, it was a whirlwind after that. And now I'm holding a double title. I have Miss Guyana World, which I initially had wanted. It's back right in my hands, and now I'm preparing to go to the Miss World pageant.
Congratulations on that. Let me just go to the chat room for a second.
Okay.
Leo asked, "Are you happy in your role?"
Definitely.
And Kishore, you remember Kishore? Said, "Hi, Selvin and Miss Boyer."
Hello.
Hi, Kishore.
Hi, Kishore.
And who are some of the models today you admire?
There are several models, but they're local that I admire. I admire a previous queen. Her name is Miss Odessa Phillips. She was the only other queen other than myself that got both titles, Miss Guyana World and Miss Guyana Universe, because from what I gathered, I never met her, strangely enough, but I spoke with her on Facebook and so forth, and she seems like one of the most humble people I've ever come into contact with. And the fact that she was an ambassador twice and then she's pursued a legal career, it's basically like what I'm aspiring to be. So I look up to her as a role model. I also have a strong admiration for all the past queens international that made it from the Caribbean, like Wendy Fitzwilliams and Miss Botswana and all these other queens who are within the Caribbean diaspora that placed internationally, like won the pageants. And a lot of other local runway models like Miss Asha Peters, Miss Melissa. There are so many other girls within Guyana that I admire because they're consistent and they stick with it and they're very passionate about the game. Outside of that, I also admire Miss Layla Lopez. She was the Miss Universe that crowned me because of her humbling personality as well. But basically, I look for the humility in a person and the simplicity in them, and that basically is.
I'm hearing from you two qualities, two very stellar qualities, I must say. First, when you describe what sort of motivated you and pushed you to go after the Miss Universe, and that is your town, Linden, was going through some very serious ordeals, and you wanted to do something to sort of uplift the spirits of the people there, and under that, I bring all that under the umbrella of giving back and giving of yourself to others. And then you spoke again about humility. Now, putting those two together, giving back, or just giving, and humility, how important are those two qualities to you?
Giving back and humility. Mahatma Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, right? He's one of my role models as well. I think it's essential to have that balance of humility and selflessness because you find a lot of self-worth within it. Like, as much as you think that, like, it's great to go after your own goals and aspirations at the same time, but I don't think at the end of the road, if you didn't give something back that you'd feel as fulfilled, it kind of takes away from that glory in the end. And it's like, when let's say you pursue a career in music and then you get to the top of the game and then you realize that you have no one there to share that glory with, those would have been the people that you would have been given to along the way that would have had your back no matter what because of the little mercies that you bestowed them with. So I think it's very essential to maintain that balance of selflessness and being humble. No one likes somebody that's all into themselves and all for themselves. At some times, you do need to be selfish. I honestly think at some points you need to do something for yourself so that you can be happy, but you need to figure out a way to strike a balance whereby you're giving and you're taking at the same time. You can't just take. You need to give too. That's the equilibrium we need to have in our lives.
What do you enjoy most about modeling?
I love the you see, I'm already getting into it. I just love the stage. It's just the excitement, the euphoria, it's the energy, the adrenaline that usually pumps me. I think I've developed a strong like for a runway. Like when you're on the stage and you're able to cross your legs and just walk down that stage and be confident and just exude with energy, I feel as if I'm on top of the world when I'm doing that. So
Do you
in
ever
terms,
get nervous?
no. In terms of modeling, no. Strangely enough, I don't get nervous because in my mind, I learned something from Miss Universe. Our trainer, Luciera, Selena, she said, when you go out on the stage, and this is supposed to be a secret, but I'm sharing it with you. She said, this is what you think. Every girl wants to be me and every man wants to marry me, right? I don't know what else can give you all the confidence you need. She said, just keep saying that to yourself. Every girl wants to be me, every man wants to marry me, and you'll get the confidence you need. I said it one time and I got all the confidence that I needed. I know it sounds a little bit, these girls kind of thing, but it kind of worked. And it's just a refreshing feeling, there's a lot that it's like people have different ways of releasing energy. And the runway is one of my ways of releasing energy. I've just grown to love it. Initially, I was scared of it, but now it's just I'm become one with the stage.
I want to go back to something you spoke about, the ordeal Lyndon was going through at the time, and what role you played, or how you saw yourself giving back something to ease that pressure and so on. How are you using your platform as a model and an international representative of Guyana to promote positive social change?
Okay, well, there are various steps that I've taken. I haven't been able to execute all as yet, but the first thing I did when I won Miss Guyana Universe, I orchestrated a march, and that march was a combination of art painting, live artwork that I had my friends paint and reconstruct victims of violence. It was a bit graphic, I know, but I felt like I needed to do something different and have the message sent and imprinted on the minds of all those who were witnessing the march. So what we did, I basically invited persons, we did the ad, we did the promo and everything, and I had my friend Steve from Bravo Arts paint everyone like he can do some really graphic artwork. And he basically we recreated newspaper clipping, and we went down the streets, we marched on October 27th, 2012. That was during International Domestic Awareness, during that period as well. We marched through the streets of Georgetown, and then we ended up in a national park where I put together a little program via song, because I'm in the arts. That's easy for me to just pull my friends and have us put on a little show, but basically send the message that we need to come together to help minimize the effects and deal with this issue, educate and build awareness, and then create action. Outside of that, I've been working on my foundation. It's called the Hope Phoenix Foundation. It's basically going to be both an online forum where persons can access to basically socialize and voice their concerns, and we can learn together how we can deal with these issues. Have persons reach out to me, persons reach out to other victims, because people have a tendency to relate easier with persons that have been through the same thing. They might not necessarily want to reach out to me, but if they have that network where they can connect with other persons that are feeling the same sort of pains and suffering, then I think it would definitely help, ideally, what they're going through, and probably help them in ways to get out. In addition to that, well, right now, since I'm in preparation mode for Miss World, I haven't been able to do it, but I'm working on getting a building where persons that are affected can go, like they actually have somewhere to go if they want to escape from these abusive situations, as it relates to both domestic violence and bullying, if they need counseling, so to speak. Because I mean, we can talk about it, we can say that you need to speak out and so forth, but when you speak out, then what? Because people don't want to speak out, and then there's nothing in place for them where they can seek help or seek comfort or closure or sanctuary, so to speak. So there's that building I'm working along. That's going to be in Linden though, because I'm working along with the regional council there to have that put put up and put in place, basically. There are a few other items here and there. Like I've launched an art competition. This is in collaboration with my current campaign from Miss World, and there are other works in plan, but I can only bite off so much right now. So it's a work in progress.
Having experienced what you have and knowing what you know now, would you encourage other young women to pursue a career in modeling?
It depends on what they want, because in every career that you decide to get involved with, there's something that you can get out of it. I did not go into modeling to become a model. I went into modeling for the network that it creates, that I can meet persons that can probably help and influence the choices and the fields that I want to get into. That's what initially I got into, to showcase my talents, probably meet a record producer when I was in some country, that sort of thing. So it depends on what you want from modeling, then you could pursue it. But if modeling is all that you want, then definitely, that's still a good career for you to get involved with. You can learn a lot from modeling. It's not just walking on stage, but there's a lot of science that goes behind modeling that would not meet the eye, that you probably will learn in like a year or two or a few months. You never know. But it all comes back to the mindset that you have. If you want it, make a vision board, plan it, and go for it, because that's your dream. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't pursue that dream because of limitations that you might have currently. You can definitely do it.
Of all the pageants that approached you, what is it about Miss Guyana Talented Teen that appealed to you?
My first pageant? The talent segment. that was it. There wasn't Miss Guyana Talented Teen. It's pretty much a teen pageant that's organized by a woman named Miss Pamela Dillon, and she's been doing it for several years. It was me just wanting to go there, win the pageant, get to go to St. Kitts. So I was 19. There was only so many things that I thought about. I just wanted to sing and have people hear me sing, and probably get to travel, and then have probably some record producer hear me sing, and then get me signed. That's like my fantasy career. Like, I'm pursuing international relations and so forth, but that's like the downside to me that I really am passionate about. So if I can immerse a career in both fields, I definitely will. I'd be the singing lawyer.
So at age 19, you were sent to represent Guyana at the Miss Teen Universe.
Yes.
Gaining recognition for Guyana Miss Congeniality. What were your thoughts when you were selected?
I deserve this. That was my initial thoughts, because I was so devastated. I didn't show it because I don't know what is it about a loss that makes me react positive. I don't know. Like, I usually smile in the face of defeat, but I was devastated on the inside that I didn't place in the top 5 for Miss Guyana Talented Teen when it was only 11 girls. I'm like, am I that much of a loser, right? But so then a month after, they tell me, you know what, you didn't place, but we're gonna send you to Miss Teen Universal. I was like, oh yes, thank you, Lord. At least I'm getting something out of this. And then I was going to Barbados. I've never been to Barbados at 19. I was like, yay! It was very rewarding. I felt like I took on the right attitudes towards losing, and that was a reflection of the person that I was, and they saw that, and as a result, I was selected. I think they mentioned that was why I got selected. So I'm thankful for them for giving me the opportunity, because that was basically my starting point.
Let me just go to the chat room. The SACCB said, "Very nice. I'm impressed. She clearly knows her craft. Is quite worldly and expressive, and using our word passionate. Good luck, young lady."
Thank you very much.
What is one thing you would like other young people to get out of your journey as a model?
I won't call myself a model. You calling me a model? Okay. I don't know. I just call me Ruqayyah. Okay, well, fine. Well, let's go with the model thing. Fine, Selwyn. Fine. He's giving me these eyes.
I'm just surprised that you wouldn't claim what you do.
I do claim it, but
Okay.
I don't know if I call myself a model. Like, I don't see myself as a professional.
Let me rephrase the question, because one of the things that happened on this show is that time creeps up on us, and I got lots of questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. So the question is, What is one thing you'd like other young people to get out of your journey?
That I'm a believer, and I am one of the most, when it comes to passion and belief and not giving up, that's who I am. And I think everyone has that inner light within them that can generate that same sort of passion. So you just have to find what clicks for you, what's your passion, what it is you want to endeavor to do. And once you find it, you stick with it, you work in it and mold it into your thing. And once you've molded it, you'll get it. Believe me, there is nothing that is impossible. Nothing, nothing
I want
whatsoever.
us to go on rapid fire now because time is up.
No problem.
And we got lots of questions. So, what message would you like to send to those who bully young people and men who are violent against women? You can take your time on this one.
Okay. It's mind over matter. A lot of, you see, the thing is, those who bully people aren't necessarily, it's not that they're also victims as well, because it's a cycle. So they don't really, you can't really blame them for what they're going through. But the first thing you can do, if you recognize your mistakes, you can reach out to someone and have begin with conversation. Simple communication will be the first step towards, just recognize what you're doing is wrong, and that you don't need to go down that road, and try to turn your life around. It's just not the way to go. So for those persons that are bullying, if you were bullied as a younger person, that's just not the direction you want to go, because you go from one level to the next level, and then you'll probably be in some cliff trying to commit suicide because you're not satisfied with the way your life turned out. So the best thing to do is go talk to someone. I won't say seek counseling, because that's the word that everyone runs from. In terms of men that are being violent against women, men, I say to you now and I say to you forever, women are like the life source of the earth. Like, we are the persons who nurture. We're the persons who create, like, we reproduce. We have to go through 9 months of pregnancy to bring forth you. I mean, of course, it's a dual action, but when you think about the pains that women are going through, I am devastated, and I don't see how it's the most unhuman thing. So try to think about what you're doing, and the cycle that you're creating, and the torture and the pain that you're afflicting upon not just a woman that you might be involved with, but a mother's daughter, or a sister of someone. We're all interrelated. We're all connected in some way, and for all you know, you could be hurting your cousin without even knowing it. So you have to think about every woman that's out there as your sister, as your mother, as your cousin, and treat them with the respect that they deserve, because this is a cycle that needs to be ended. We cannot continue living this way, because that's not the way human nature is supposed to be. We can do better than that. We're human beings. We have the choice to make a change. We have that choice within us. We can make a change if we just decide that we want to. So
well said. If you had the ears of the president of Guyana, what advice would you give to him, or would you like to give to him, regarding the fight against bullying and domestic violence?
Take a hands-on approach to it. I mean, there are all these other issues that you have in your country, but the thing is, it's the issues that you think are irrelevant that usually are the issues that can catapult into something that has like a nationwide spread disease. It's like a disease, and if you don't tackle it from the grassroots, it's going to envelope into something that you would have preferred to have dealt with initially. So take a hands-on approach, and when these issues, when you start, like, you know, your advisors can tell you, there are letters to the editors that are going out every day. I know for a fact, because I wrote a letter to the editor about these issues, and look at it and do something about it. At the minute an issue is domestic violence, or you're seeing a series of events whereby persons are murdering their women every single day, make a national address, and that way people will respect you for who you are and recognize that you're trying to do something as a president. You were elected to serve the people, so that's your job. You should meet the needs of every single community and every single person, because that was the job you were elected to do. So basically, find the compassion within yourself as a
I
president.
couldn't have this conversation without touching on, to me, what is a very important topic, and that is cost.
Cost?
Yes, cost.
Cost of what?
Cost, well, let me finish. you're traveling.
Okay.
You are going to represent Guyana, and there are costs attached to that. How are there enough of a support in place for you from from our country, from the government of Guyana, seeing that you're representing Guyana? What sort of challenges, financial challenges, are you facing, or is everything in place for you?
Well, the question is, what are the challenges? The challenge is a financial challenge. My director has recently launched an online website where persons can go and contribute towards my fundraising efforts. And we're looking at a target online of 15,000 US because the Miss World pageant is very costly. The ticket alone costs a lump sum of cash. There are 8 segments that you have to compete in. You have to be in Indonesia for a month, and it's very cost effective because you have talent, you have the sports fitness, you have top runway model, you have interview, you have beauty with a purpose. All of these segments require a particular outfit.
And what is this website? Where can people go and donate?
I didn't get the name of the website. I know it's fundraiser.com. I have to check back with her.
Do you know if Michelle or one of your other handlers are listening to the show tonight?
I can't
Perhaps
see.
they
They
could
probably
get into
are.
the chat room.
They probably are. I don't know if Roger Gary is listening. He said he would listen.
Okay.
But
whomever is associated with Ruqayyah, if you are listening in, please go to the chat room and type in the address to the website where our listeners can go and make donations to this fund.
Or what they can do in the meantime, because this is a definite surety, like you can go type in Miss World Guyana. That's my official fan page, and on that page I have the link shared on my page. So if you want it, you can just go type in Miss World Guyana, and there's my page. You have to like it, of course, so you can access it, and then you'll see the page. You can click on the link because the link is shared. That's like one of the recent, probably the second to last share that I had on my page, but that'll definitely give you direct access to the page. You can contribute via PayPal or your Visa card or whatnot, but that's the target we were looking at because it's a lot of expenses to cover. You remember, you're in a competition mode, so if persons understand the dynamics of pageantry, they'd recognize that every single minute you have to compete. From the minute you go to breakfast, the girls are decked out in evening gowns, and I'm being very serious and very literal, like evening gowns at breakfast, and you think it's somewhat crazy, but it's a competition, so you always have to look your best. In the evening dinner, it's evening gowns, and these things cost money, and at the end of the day, the glory, if I win, or when I win, it'll be Guyana's victory. But at the end of the day, when I'm in Indonesia, no one calls me Ruqayyah. Everyone says Miss Guyana. So that's who they see me by. They see me as a country. So I have the country that I'm carrying with me. I have to represent that culture, that ethnicity, that variety of that every single thing that comes with that country, and try to sell that to the Miss World organization and the people in Indonesia, because those are the persons who need to buy into that product.
Do you get support from Guyana?
I do get support from Guyana. It hasn't been as grand as I would have liked it to be. I think it's because of sensitization. Probably people are just not aware. But we've reached out to some persons. We haven't gotten some responses from some persons as yet, which is a bit sad because I am representing the country and not just myself. But we're looking. I have 5 days left before I head off to Indonesia, which is Sunday. So we're hoping for some positive response where persons can pitch in and help me get there and be in a position where I can compete effectively. Because as much as I might be a strong contender and I might be very positive, it can get intimidated at times when other girls are fully supported by their countries and they have all the prerequisites to compete, both physically and psychologically. So that's what you're competing against. So yeah, but strangely enough, I've gotten a lot of support from Indonesia, so I'm looking forward to heading there to see what the reception will be like. They've been very supportive such far in terms of reaching out to me and welcoming me to their country before I'm even there.
Okay. I understand you're a poet, singer and dancer.
I try.
Will you be using any of these talents at the Miss World event?
Definitely. I've chosen to sing for my talent, and I'll be taking it old school. I love jazz, so I'm gonna be jazzing it up for the talent segment.
I want to go to the chat room for a second.
Okay.
Um, Leo said, "Where do you draw your inspiration?"
Life.
Life. Okay. Kim, what do you miss most about Guyana?
The people.
And Kishore, how can listeners or viewers pitch in and help, and what is the contact to do so?
In terms of the contributions?
Yes.
Well, I don't have the information that right now, but like I said, you can type in Miss World Guyana.
Where?
On Facebook. On Facebook. Type in Miss World Guyana, and if not, Google Miss World Guyana. It'll definitely take you to the Facebook link. And on my Facebook page, that's my official Facebook page, the second to last post has the link to the fundraising site. So you can click on that. That way you get to access, and it has all the information there. And it's a very simple process, fundraiser.com. So my directors had put that in place in order for persons outside to contribute in any way they feel possible.
Okay. You know, your directors should have been on listening to this show tonight.
Well,
And
I think she's
no, let me
probably at
finish,
work.
Let me finish. This is very important.
Okay.
Making sure that our listeners have access to this information is very critical.
Okay.
If not one director, sub-director, somebody, because you not only represent yourself or a few people, you represent all of us. And this is very, very important to all of us. So here someone is asking, how can we help? And we don't have the contact information.
Oh.
Right. So that is very important that we, when you're doing these kinds of shows, that someone is there to make sure that we have all that information. So,
I'm trying to see here if I can pick it up.
sure,
I don't know.
No problem.
Let me just see here real quick if I know
So
it.
in the meanwhile, I will ask you this: what music do you listen to?
Okay, it's music?
Yeah.
No, the link. I can see the link here.
Go ahead, tell us.
It's I don't know if you want to check it out. Like the link.
Well, give it to me.
It's fundraiser.com. FUNDRAZR.
Hold on. FUND.
DRAZR.com. That's the link, but
Okay.
the title is Help Miss World Guyana Get to Indonesia.
Help
Miss World Guyana Get to Indonesia.
Miss World Guyana
Get to Indonesia. Fundraiser.com.
get to
Indonesia.
Oh, you mean this is one word?
Pardon?
This is one word?
What?
Help Miss World Guyana get to Indonesia.
That's the sentence. Look, check it out for yourself.
I can't see from there. I'm old. I don't have all my
Okay.
Indonesia.
Yes, that's I noticed that as the heading.
So help Miss World Guyana get to Indonesia.com.
No, the site, the link that I see here. Yes, but I see fundraiser, which is FUNDRAZR.com.
Okay, I posted that already. All right, good. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much. Let's go back to the question.
Yes.
What music do you listen to?
Anything that's inspirational. I don't have a particular genre that I'm die hard for, but I'll probably go with jazz first because that just gets you back into the old school kind of things.
I like
I
that.
love jazz.
And this is a left field question. Hope you're ready. Who's your local male celebrity crush?
My local.
Don't tell me you don't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
I never thought about it. My local male celebrity
Crush.
crush.
Yes, crush. That's what I said. Crush.
Oh boy. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. You see, I've been so absorbed with work and everything else that I haven't thought. I'm blushing, I know.
I know you're blushing.
But because it's one of those questions. I'm thinking. I'm trying to give you an answer. I actually want to answer that question. In terms of sports, in terms of music, in terms of what? In terms of, I just haven't seen that person that makes me tick as yet. Like, I think they're in the making, right? I haven't seen that local celebrity. Guyana doesn't have really so many male celebrities, so to speak. We have Adrian Jomo and Jomo, Adrian Dushin and Jomo that sing the soca's and stuff, but they're too short. Plus, they already married and everything. So, yeah. But Aris, I love my celebrity male man. Like, if you're listening, I love you guys. I just haven't found one of you that makes me tick as yet.
All right. If a young girl or boy wanted to be a model, what would you advise? What would your advice be for them?
Do their research.
Research.
Definitely go do your research first. Understand the dynamics of the field, because in anything that you get involved in, you want to understand what you're getting yourself involved in, and then ensure that that is really what you want to do. Once you accept that that is what you want to do, then basically plan how you're going to make your baby steps, plan how you're going to execute it and get involved in it, and try to, I think it's all in the research first though, but try to ensure that once you make the contacts with the persons that you want to align yourself with to push your portfolio, ensure that research those persons as well, because the world we live in, we have some crazy people out there. So ensure you have some sort of monitor, like, wire out there for persons that might be a little woohoo. But do your research, make your connections, make your portfolio. That's one of the things you do up front. So if you go into agencies and stuff, you have your portfolio right there with your records. Like, do your magazine clippings, paste them, get every single runway show that you do, every single activity that you're involved in that can help build your portfolio. Just put it all together. Ensure that you have everything compiled and composed so that when you're ready and they're ready for you, that you can present that and you have something that's of substance to present to them that they'll be willing to take you on.
Being crowned Miss World Guyana 2013, what were some of the life-changing things that happened to you as a result of this win?
I'm still numb.
Still numb.
From the I still don't. You see, the thing is, like, I have the crown,
Right.
and sometimes someone has to remind me that I have the crown, because I really just see myself as Ruqayyah. Like, I don't see myself so much, and I need to more so that I can be more, act more in the capacity of it. But I see myself as Ruqayyah more than I see myself as Miss World Guyana. That seems like such a big thing. But I think it's elevated me, and it's given me more confidence and made me recognize that, you know what, when you work really hard for something and you just believe in yourself, it's possible. Because I mean, I've done things before, like pageantry before, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is not for me. But now I have this, the thing that I worked so hard for, and I have the opportunity to do wonders with it. So I'm just trying to make the best out of it, the most out of it. And
So, what was the best experience about being Miss World Guyana 2013?
I think when I was crowned was one of the best experiences, because the young lady that crowned me, a girl by the name of Sasha Barrett, she has like a skin disorder. And Miss World is all about fundraising for causes and all about being a beauty with a purpose. And I think that was one of the most rewarding things, because she is, this girl that cannot go to school because she's suffering from a skin disorder. She's probably being bullied as a result of her appearance. And yet, I felt honored to have her put a crown on my head. I felt like I was being crowned by a true queen, because it takes a lot of courage to do what she did on that day and smile about it and be as elegant and graceful as she was. So that for me was one of the most, like, a child. She's not more than 10 years old and she's doing that. So it kind of gave me hope and know that there's like good in the world, and there are things that we can do, and there's things that I want to do to ensure that that good remains.
Wonderful. What does it mean to be a young Guyanese woman in the 21st century?
I don't know what it was like in the 19th century. I don't have anything to compare, but Whitney Houston seemed like she was having the time of her life. Nonetheless, we're in a sense, I think we're very privileged, 23 years old and young people, because we're in an age where technology is the thing of the day. So it's how you look at it, the perspective you have on it. Our ancestors sacrificed a lot for us, so we have nothing but we just have to be grateful for the the work that they put in, because without their work, we basically wouldn't had all this technology so that we could be having conversations with someone and reaching out to a wide global audience. And the network, I think, is one of the things that I'm most appreciative of for our 21st century, because there is a lot that you could impact on. Rather than on a small scale, you can do it now on a large scale. And I don't think you had that in the 19th century. You probably had to write a letter and wait months for it to get to you. Yeah. So now we have the kind of technology that allows us to network within the space of seconds. Thank God for Mark Zuckerberg.
Kishore asked, I looked at your intro video and saw elements of a multicultural community. How do you prepare to and are able to represent the various cultures of Guyana?
Through the different segments that they have. The segments that the Miss World pageant has, it requires different cultural aspects to be added. Like we have the dances of the world. That in itself allows me to incorporate the various cultures of Guyana. I'm doing the masquerade, but my outfit symbolizes the flag, the colors of the flag, and we know the colors of the flag has its various meanings that are associated with the various cultures that would have made Guyana what it is today. We have dances of the world. My talent also has a little bit of Guyanese flair. It has a bit of Chinese. It has all of that melting pot associated with it. In terms of my interview would pretty much allow me to lament on the different things that Guyana, because obviously they'll want to know about my country, so that allows me to speak about my country and the different cultures that we have there. So I think the Miss World pageant basically has the entire stage allows for you to sell your country in its entirety.
What would be the first thing you would change if you were president for a day?
Dear Lord.
For a day?
One day.
There's so many things I would want to change. Oh my
First
God.
thing you would change.
The president of which country?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I know you're stalling. It's alright.
Oh my God. Because wow. I would want to change the educational system. I probably go to the educational system. Education basically influences everything, and I think if I only have a day and I can impact in education, it will leave a lasting impact with whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and all the other days of the week. So at least I did something that would leave an impact.
You're good. You are good.
What?
You are good. I'm telling you. If we didn't have time pressing on us, I would have dived deeper into that generalization with the educational system. I'll let you slide with that one. In the chat room, Jennifer said, "You're an awesome young woman. Much success to you.
Thank you
are
very
a winner.
much.
Love, can you sing for us?"
Oh boy, I was dreading that someone might ask.
All right.
Oh Lord. Is the person serious? Do I really have to sing?
They wrote the question, but let me just ask you this by the time you
okay.
think about what you want to say.
Oh my gosh.
I know you think well on your feet and see. What were some of the challenges you faced in pageantries before making it this far? As fast as possible.
The color of my skin.
Color of your skin.
Yeah, definitely.
Complexion.
That was the main challenge.
Oh gosh, I should have asked this question before. I would love to dive into this.
Yeah.
You're coming back on this show. You know this, right?
I am?
Yes, you are.
Really?
Yes, you are. What sort of things do you enjoy doing when you have time to relax?
Just being with the people that I love and trying to ride horses. Someone can present me a horse. You could send that too with the donation. I really want a horse and a piano, a really huge piano.
Ruqayyah. Person said, yes, they're serious about you singing. So are you ready?
Oh,
or you want me
wow.
to ask you another question?
I'll try to sing. And you see, I have to
Tune my voice and warm up and all these things. But since you put me in the spot, I'm gonna do a little piece of something. It's called, like I said, I like old school. It's Sam Cooke's "A Change Is Gonna Come."
Oh, go for it. turn up this mic.
Oh boy. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I was running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what exists beyond the clouds. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. So I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me right down, right back to my knees. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. Oh, 'cause I don't know what. Oh yeah, blah blah blah,
Okay.
whatever.
Oh.
I'm in the singing mood. Oh my God, I should have
That
done.
deserve
Really?
a big donation. Jenny, please find her donation site. I think it's, what is it? I think it's
Fundraiser.
fundraiser.
That's the site.
FUNDRAZR.com.
and type in help Ruqayyah get to Indonesia if you need that tagline. I think you might need help Ruqayyah get to Indonesia to type in. To find
Okay.
it.
Okay. Moving right along.
Okay.
Can you tell us about how spirituality influences your life?
In a major way,
Definitely, because I think
it's the center of my existence, for lack of a better phrase to define what it is to me. I think everyone needs to feel like they belong somewhere or they came from something or someone, and my spirituality would have stemmed from my Islamic upbringings, and then it would have delved into the multicultural family that I had. And at the end of the day, when you're at the lowest of the low and you realize there is only up that you can go, it's that person, that divine being, Almighty God, that pulls you right back up. And if you don't have that sense of belonging towards him, and you don't have that connection, then I think you're losing out on the most rewarding feeling you can have as a human being. And that, I think my spirituality is extremely important to me. Without it, I don't think I could survive some of the challenges that I might go through, because at the end of the day, I just, you hang on to it and you're like, I can do this, because if the world is against me, at least I know, I'm certain of that one person that's going to be for me, and that's enough for me to withstand anything.
Right. Kishore said, Rock, your skin color is your calling card to the future more ways than one. You have beautiful, flawless skin, and the camera loves you. Build on that. You rock.
thank you, Kishore.
You were crowned Miss Guyana Universe in 2012.
Yeah.
Did you anticipate this success? Is it something you thought possible?
I believe in believing. I believe that anything is possible. So before I received the crown, I thought I was Miss Guyana Universe. Like, even though I was competing, I believe that in order to get something, you have to see yourself as that person. So I was competing and I was like, I'm just going to be Miss Guyana Universe. So everything I did it in execution with that thought in mind. So I think it was one of those things. I thought it was my time. As much as I was apprehensive, I think my reason for being there was so strong that if I didn't get it, I would have been questioning, like, how in the world did this happen? Because apart from the people of Linden wanting to give back to them, there were so many other reasons behind that, me wanting that crown. And there was nothing other than God, who was in my favor at that point, that was going to stop me.
All
not
right.
one thing.
Tell us about some of your failures and how you use them to prepare for bigger and more demanding pageants like Miss World Guyana.
Okay. I think one of my failures is my I need to listen more. I think that's one of my I'm not kidding you. Like, if I had listened more, I'm one of those learn off of your own experiences people.
Right.
And I could learn off of a few other person's experiences for, like, seriously, I can do that once in a while. But I've been so strong-headed, and so probably it's my Taurus thing, you know. I don't know if it's because of that. I'm not high on astrology that much, but I don't know if that's the trait. But I think being able to listen more could have helped me back in the past a bit more, and I've developed it to a degree whereby now I pay more attention to detail, and I try to take on the advice of persons that are wiser than I am, and it's helped me a lot. So in the past, I would see my lack of paying attention and listening to details as one of my shortcomings, but I've learned how to improve on that trait, so to speak.
How can your fans connect with you?
Facebook and Twitter. I have a website actually. It's www.ruqayyahboyer.com. You can give them the spelling of my name because I know it's a bit tough to spell.
Giving me work, huh?
It's RUQAYYAH BOYER, Ruqayyah Boyer, my full name, BOYER.com. That's my website. I need to update it. I haven't been able to update it recently, but as of current, the way you can be in touch with me is to like my Facebook fan page, which is Miss World Guyana on Facebook. You'll be getting all the updates when I'm in Indonesia. I've already updated it today. I said that I'll be playing Miss Journalist while I'm in Indonesia, and I'll have a campaign or a marathon called Just Ask Ruqayyah. That way, you'll be able to ask me any question every single day, and I'll share with you the culture of Indonesia. And if you want to speak to any one of your favorite contestants, it doesn't have to be me. I would prefer it is me, but you may have a favorite contestant you like to get to know. And, you know, since this is the one opportunity, you can ask me. I'll interview them for you, and we'll have your questions up online as soon as possible.
What legacy would you like to leave as a former Miss Guyana?
A legacy that everyone can emulate. That was the pageant answer. I know. Look at that look that someone gave me. A legacy whereby the change that I said I wanted to be became evident. Like, it was like I left footprints or things that people can grow off of. Like, I built a foundation, and it's something that can be an ongoing process that could help generations to come, and not just something that probably will be like disintegrated like a few months from now. Something that was solid, a solid foundation of work that can be continued even after I die. So
what advice would you give to the next Miss World?
When she gets here, I'll give that to her.
Ruqayyah? Ruqayyah?
Yes, Mr. Collins.
Answer my question, please.
Why can't I avoid that question? Selwyn.
Because you can't.
Selwyn, answer me this question.
No,
You've been asking questions all evening.
No, this is conversation. You're not asking me questions.
This is conversation. A conversation is a dialogue.
Ruqayyah, we have 1 minute left, and you choose to have an argument. Do you remember what you just said about listening?
Okay, I'll listen.
Okay, so do you have any advice for the next Miss World?
The next Miss World Guyana, believe in yourself and be yourself. Nothing trumps being yourself, and once you believe, you can achieve.
Okay, what is next for Ruqayyah Boyer?
The Miss World crown.
I love that. And the question I've asked all my guests, what makes you laugh out loud?
Selwyn Collins.
Oh, you have jokes. You just met me and I make you.
You have me laughing all evening, so it definitely, you're the first person that came to mind.
Ruqayyah, Karen wrote feisty Ruqayyah. Yes. Well, let me say this, and I'll put on my glasses so I can say this. First of all, and before I ask you to take us out with something very inspirational, and motivation. I want to say this to you directly, that I'm impressed. You know, I feel fortunate that I'm a Guyanese and I'm sitting opposite you having this conversation. I feel privileged and honored to have you here as a guest. But more importantly, I feel that you are going to do our country proud. I feel that we could not have chosen a more articulate, a more humble, a more beautiful person. I think that your eloquence represents how very intelligent you are. I've sat here and I was beaming, and I'm so glad that it wasn't a split screen and it was only you on the screen, because I was beaming with pride. You're so young, chronologically, but yet so old and wise. And your wisdom and your intelligence came out here tonight. Thank you so much for taking this journey for all of us, all Guyanese. And my biggest hope tonight is that every Guyanese throughout the diaspora, well, I learned a new word the other day, diaspora, will take the time to make a contribution to your journey, to this trip to becoming the next Miss World. I want to thank you very much, Ruqayyah. You have been so very eloquent. I enjoy your laughter. I enjoy your humor. And even when you try to slip my questions, that was fun. So, having said that, I'm going to ask you to take us out with a few words of wisdom. You've given us many tonight, but I would like you to give us a few.
Well, I live by one very simple philosophy, and it's the philosophy of a man that's known to many. Bob Marley, love the life you live and live the life you love, and you'll be fine. That's all I have to say in terms of philosophies and advice. And as much as you want to thank me, I want to thank you for having me and all those who are tuned in as well. The world is about give and take in that balance. So as much as you may be happy to have me here, I'm happy to be in your presence. So it's a win-win situation. So thank you.
You're most welcome. In the chat room, Genevieve said, love, beautiful, smart.
Thank you. I'm sure you are too.
And Ruqayyah, once again, thank you very much, and much success to you and to all the people around you. Roger Gary, and Michelle Cole, and what's the
Natasha Martindale, Miss Diane Madre.
Natasha Martindale.
There's so many of them.
Yes, and Patricia Longford.
Yes, Miss Patricia
Yes,
Longford,
I
definitely. She's amazing. She's one remarkable woman. We should have her here on.
I will have her here
Definitely.
as soon as I can get her to find the time in her schedule.
Yeah, she's been really busy. She's been assisting. I don't know how I would be able to thank her enough. I'm just saying.
She's a marvelous woman, and she's beautiful. So, good night.
Good night. Are we done yet?
Are we done yet? Are you trying to get
I've
off?
always wanted to say that since I saw Are We There Yet, the movie.
You want to say, are we done yet?
Are we done yet?
Suffer the little children to come unto me. Every day more than 30,000 children around the world die of preventable diseases. More than 300,000